So this is how you overcome your fear of getting hit in the face. So I know where you're coming from, man. I used to be really scared of getting hit in the face. And it was after my first sparring session where this dude, he didn't even mean it, but he hit me with a nasty right hand. And I got sort of that whiplash because I had my chin up in the air. And I really didn't like that feeling. And when I first started to spar, getting hit in the face it's obviously not enjoyable, right? But it was a feeling that I really didn't like. It took time, took months for me to really start building up resilience and starting to kind of accept getting hit in the face and not being as scared, because I used to really have problems with like backing up. And thankfully now, especially lately, I feel like that's not nearly as much of a problem. Still happens sometimes where like if I'm going up against someone really good in sparring, I back up a little bit. But besides that though, I feel like I've gotten a lot better, and it's just because I've been sparring for quite a bit. And like I said, when you start sparring and everything, you build that resilience and you build experience. So eventually you just overcome this fear. So look, at the end of the day, I don't want you to overthink things and be like, oh, but I'm a pussy, I'm this, I'm that. Everyone starts off somewhere. Don't let someone call you a pussy or anything, because at least you're willing to go ahead and you're willing to do a spar. No one else is willing to do that. I mean, 99% of the population isn't willing to just go in and get hit in the face. So I'm proud of you, man. And I'm gonna help you out by giving you a couple tips to really just help get rid of your fear of getting hit in the face. So the first thing is to put your chin down. So when you get hit, right? You get hit like this and your head kind of goes like this. It's pretty painful. But when you have your head down and someone throws a punch at you, it's not nearly as painful. I genuinely think having your chin down will really help you out with the punches, and they won't really feel as painful. This was actually a problem with my first fight where I kept my chin up, and because of that, there were shots that I was taking which shouldn't have even affected me, but they did, just because I had my chin up. And trust me, this is a habit you really don't want to have, of keeping your chin up, because when you get into a match, even in the pros, you get into the pros and it's like 10-ounce gloves, you get hit, you will get knocked out, you will get sparked. Try to practice keeping your chin down. Something that I'm gonna start to do now, I saw like the whole like tennis ball technique. I'm gonna start to do that, and I've heard from people that it really does help with really practicing that habit of just keeping your chin down. So that's something I would highly recommend. I haven't tried it out yet, but I'm gonna start trying it out, and I'll probably make a whole video on it too. The second point is to accept the worst case scenario that's gonna happen to you. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna get dazed pretty badly. I mean, we're both wearing 16-ounce gloves. It's not like I'm gonna get knocked out, but I'll either get dazed pretty badly, or I'll take a really hard body shot, or I'll get clipped a bit, and maybe I'll be out for like a couple seconds. Accept the worst thing that's gonna happen to you. Accept it in your head, like visualize the worst thing that's gonna happen to you. And this is the worst thing. So when you get into sparring and, you know, maybe he throws, because let's be real, no one is gonna fuck you up if it's a spar, because most of the time, at least at my gym, it's a light spar. So they're not gonna fuck you up. Worst case scenario, you're gonna take a bit of a hard right hand, but that's it. This will really transfer into your matches. If you accept the worst case scenario that's gonna happen, where you just get dropped, it'll give you that confidence, like, all right, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna go in, I've accepted the worst thing that's gonna happen, let's do it, let's fucking scrap it. It will really help you out with your fight. And the third and final thing, and this is what I mentioned before, keep sparring and you'll build resistance. So like I said, when I first started to spar, I was really scared, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I got beaten up a couple times and it wasn't fun. But over time, you kind of build resistance, especially when you just keep coming in and you start to really learn from your spars, which is another thing too. After a spar, get to kind of like learn yourself. Okay, why am I backing up? What am I doing wrong? Why aren't any of my punches landing? Maybe there's something wrong I'm doing with technique, or it could be mindset or something like that, and try to address that. But overall, if you just keep coming in, you know, 3, 4, 5 months later and you're sparring and everything, you're gonna build resistance, man. And if you're at a good gym, you guys aren't gonna be going out and hard sparring every single fucking day. If you're at a gym where you're hard sparring like that, leave the gym. You don't want to be risking your health or anything, and it's not helping you. It's one thing, you know, to build toughness and everything, like that's great. It's a whole different ballpark though when you're getting hit in the head every fucking day, okay, by pros that aren't even letting you work or anything like that, or letting you use your technique. They're just trying to fuck you up for ego, and Gyms like that are dangerous. I'm so serious. Like, leave any gym that does hard sparring every single day. But over time, if you have good partners, you're gonna build confidence. They'll let you work, and you'll eventually build that confidence to where you start sparring, you're doing a bit of a hard spar, and you're more likely to go inside of the pocket and exchange some punches and not really get as worried about getting hit in the head. So I wouldn't really worry about it too much. I would just keep on going and keep practicing and keep sparring, and I promise you, bro, you're gonna build resistance and you'll be less afraid to get hit in the head. If you enjoy content like this, make sure to subscribe, and remember, my boys, stay active, stay busy, and most of all, stay hungry.